Hi, everyone. Welcome. I'm stopping by to tell you that there is a moral dimension to reality, a moral dimension. We're used to hearing people divide it up into science and religion and like that. No, there's a moral dimension that is an extra above and beyond everything else. Sure, there's science and everything and all that, but there's also a moral dimension. And a proof positive that there is a moral dimension is that things like love, things like relationships with other people are important. And what is it about relationships with other people that is important? Well, it's that there shouldn't be any hate. There shouldn't be any resentment. There shouldn't be grudges and hostility and unfinished business and judgment. Something is wrong. When somebody judges you, you can sense something wrong with that. You can sense that they're not seeing you as a real person. They don't have the complete story. They're looking at one aspect and one aspect only. So judgment is definitely lopsided and narrow, and there's something wrong with it. You can sense that there's something wrong with it. When somebody hates you or resents you or has a grudge against you or is jealous of you or secretly talks behind your back or something, you know there's something wrong with that. And likewise, in yourself, when you resent somebody, you resent your mom, you resent your dad, you resent your husband, you resent your wife, you can sense that there's something wrong with that. You don't feel right about yourself when you resent other people. See? And when they resent you, you know something's not right. So that aspect is very important. So it's how we relate to other people. Do we relate to other people, us to them, and they to us, with patience or with impatience, with calm, friendly neutrality, or with judgment? Do people have expectations so that they're disappointed with the reality of what you did? Do you have expectations of other people, and it is a pressure upon them? See? So all of these things, they are relational, aren't they? It's very much relationships, and that we know in the Ten Commandments. The first ones are about how we relate to God, and then the other ones are how to relate to other people. They're kind of simple, aren't they? But they make sense, and you can see them. Nobody has to tell you that they're right. You just know that they're right. But what do they hinge upon? They hinge upon loving God and being patient and fair with other people. So once again, we see that this moral dimension is very, very important. In fact, it's the most important. It's the most important. So that's the thing to if it's not right. See, the thing is we try to fix it. So let's say there's something between you and your wife or your husband, or something between you and your mom or your dad. Communication is not good, or there's some kind of unfinished business, or there's hurt feelings, or there's secret hostility or resentment or something. And we try to fix it. and rightfully so. But, what was I going to say? Sometimes, a lot of times we can't fix it because, well, two reasons. Number one, we don't see our own error. We're so fixated on their error, we don't see our own. And then on the other hand, they also are the same. They're fixated on our wrong. See, so first thing you have to do is get right yourself. What did Christ said? He said it. He said, what did he say? He said, why do you judge the splinter in somebody else's eye when there's a log in your eye? You see what I mean? So first you have to get right yourself. And how do you get right? Mainly, you look for resentment. There's a key. I'm going to give you a little key, a little clue as to how to get started. Look for resentment. And when you see it, let it go. And to do that, you're going to need a little bit of understanding. You won't need a lot, just a little bit. And you're going to have to be willing to forego pride and be a little bit humble. So if you have the attitude where you're willing to be a little humble, you're willing to know the truth, and you're willing, even though it's painful, to admit you're wrong if you see that you're wrong. And you want to see that you're wrong, not because you want to lord it over people or you want to be perfect or anything, just because you want to clear the air. And, you have, you don't want to hate people. You don't want your relationships messed up. So watch for resentment. Resentment is very insidious. And it will continue to mess up your relationships, even though you try to fix them. You try to be extra nice. You try to understand their point of view, all these things, but resentment. Now, let's suppose that you see your own resentment, you see your own wrong, you see your own selfishness, and you admit it, and you're sorry about what you see. And then you even admit it to them. Hey, I'm sorry. I was resenting you. I don't resent you anymore, but I resented you, and I apologize for that. So you cleared the air. Now you don't have resentment anymore. You bear only goodwill. All right. Now, suppose that they don't want the relationship to be better. They don't want to see their own wrong, and they continue to blame you. Okay, then what? Then you continue bearing goodwill for them by what? By not resenting them. That's it. Not resenting them. Not throwing in the towel and saying they're no good. Not condemning them. Just see that they're not going to change right now. Maybe never. So go about your life. See, it's not your responsibility to change them. It's not your responsibility to have the burden of all that on your shoulders. You cleared the air. You admitted you're wrong. Now you're better inside. You're not full of resentment and hate anymore. You let it go. Now, if they want to be, if they can, then you could be friends with them. If, what they're wrong, whatever it is, if they see it and let it go. You see what I mean? Then right would be relating to right. But if they continue to harbor wrong in some way or another, then just shake the dust from your sandals and go about your life. You never have to have anything to do with them again. But if you continue, but if you resent them, then you're going to feel guilty for the resentment. And then there's a chance that you may start to doubt yourself. And then they may once again get the upper hand over you. and lord it over you because now you're doubting yourself. That would not be good. And the other thing that would not be good is if you rush after them and try to be extra nice and make up to them, even though they did something wrong to you and they don't want to admit it. They don't want to apologize and admit they're wrong and be sincerely and mean it. They don't want to. They want to keep the wrong. Well, if you make up to them, then you're basically going along with their wrong. See, that's not good either. So you stand back, very neutral, very objective, and you say, look, I hated you. I don't hate you anymore. I'm sorry I hated you, but I don't hate you anymore. And you did this and this to me. When I was a little kid, this is what you did to me. And I want you to see it and admit it and apologize to me for that and admit it and mean it. And most likely they'll say, what? I never did that. They'll deny it. They'll try to blame you. They'll try to twist reality. Then you just say, well, you know my number. Call me when you're ready to apologize and mean it. And then walk away, shake the dust from your sandals. You don't need to have anything to do with them ever again. Okay? It's possible, but it's very unlikely. But it's possible they'll say, yeah, you're right. When you were a kid, I did this to you, and I see it now, and I'm sorry. All right. Now you can be friends. See, but that's not very likely to happen. If it did, it would be beautiful, and it does occasionally. But the main point is you let go of your resentment. You cleared the air. You gave them a chance to see reality and to come over to the bright side. And if they do, it's the beginning of a whole new, wonderful life for them. And if they don't, well, that's their choice. All right? But it's not your responsibility to change them. I want you to see that. You only thought it was because you were so guilty for resenting them and hating them. You see what I mean? You were so guilty for the resentment that you always tried to make up and be extra nice. And all you did was empower what was wrong with them. And you weren't doing them a favor because the real person was also a victim of what was in them. The wrong that was in them had taken them over, and to that extent, they are a victim of it. And sometimes the wrong in people can be so strong that it won't let them be sorry. It won't let them apologize. It won't let them see reality. It has like 99 to 100% control over them. And so when you confront the other person and you say, you did this to me, and I want you to see it and be sorry and apologize and mean it. All right? You're giving the real person, a chance. Maybe for the first time in their life, to be faced with the truth by someone who bears only goodwill. And you give them a chance to, of their own free will, to say, yes, you're right. I was wrong. I'm sorry. See? And when they do, their soul inclines toward the good. And they begin to be set free from that wrong which has had them enslaved. All right? So there's a lot I could say about it, but I think I've said enough to give you something to think about and to make some changes. See, so go around and watch for resentment. Never mind other people. Never mind what they did. Never mind what they're doing. Just go about life and see the birds and the blue sky, and do your work. You do your duty and so on. But notice your own little resentments. See them, stand back from them, let them go. See your own little impatiences. See, and your own little judgments. See it. You have the power. God gives you the power to stand back and see the wrong in yourself. and see that it's wrong. See it for what it is, and don't, instead of defending it, and see that it's not even you. See, you've always defended it because you thought it was you. Actually, it was it. This wrong. What Paul said. He said, "The good that I would do, I don't do, and the wrong that I don't want to do, I do." And he said, "I come to the inescapable conclusion that it's the sin that made a home in me that's doing it." So I just want you to see that and to realize that there is a moral dimension, and there is God, and He is good, and come over to His side by being patient with other people and not hating them, not resenting them.